And I'm very, very pleased to mention that our first speaker today is Mr. Himank Goswami, who is the Senior Manager of Design and Technical Services of Emaar Hospitality. Emaar Hospitality, of course, needs no introduction, one of the biggest companies in the entire region, based in, of course, in the UAE. And Mr. Himank Goswami is going to speak to us about not just innovation, but what can dis-innovation do for us when we're going about building the hotel designs of the future. So without much further ado, please all help me and welcome Mr. Himank Goswami on the stage, please.
Thank you for the introduction, Sunny. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is such a privilege to get an opportunity to speak to an esteemed audience of hospitality leaders. No matter how much innovation plays an important role in shaping the future of luxury hospitality, I personally feel that we can contribute just as much by not dis-innovating as we can by innovating. So what do I mean by dis-innovation? Now, my family and I stayed at a luxury hotel recently in South Asia. And as soon as we checked into our room, my 7-year-old daughter grabbed the room automation iPad and put on her favorite animated movie, Kung Fu Panda. The moment the movie started, a message popped up on the iPad. Popcorn on its way, enjoy the movie. My daughter was ecstatic when the room service delivered popcorn 10 minutes later. However, she did exactly what you'd expect from today's tech-savvy kids. She switched to another movie after an hour, with yet another message popping up on the iPad. Popcorn on its way, enjoy the movie. Not again, I am full. Can't they send chocolates instead? Screamed my daughter, possibly too loudly causing an iPad malfunction, with the same popcorn message stuck on it until our checkout the next day. But things didn't end there. She then moved over to the bedroom iPad and the whole popcorn cycle repeated itself. This is dis-innovation. Someone wanted to enhance our experience, what ended up ruining it instead. The urge to innovate sometimes compels us to complicate simple things in life. However, one must be pragmatic while designing interiors, products, as well as experience for the masses, and this is especially true for hotels where the average stay is only 2 to 3 days, too little a time to experiment at compromising guest comfort and well-being. And as I started to wonder, why do we often end up dis-innovating? I came across this phrase from a book called Reasons to Stay Alive, and I quote, "The world is increasingly designed to depress us. Happiness isn't good for the economy. If we were happy with what we had, why would we need more? How do you sell an anti-aging moisturizer? You make somebody worry about aging. How do you get them to watch a new TV show? You make them worry about missing out. How do you get them to vote for a political party? You make them worry about immigration. How do you get them to buy a new smartphone? You make them worry about feeling missing out." It is this feeling of being missing out, being left behind on innovation while the whole world is going abuzz with this magical word, is what leads to occasional disinnovation. So I got a little philosophical there. It is often better to be conservative than launching a half-baked idea or initiative. This innovation can broadly be categorized into 3 categories. Number 1, disinnovation in design. Now, a couple of years ago, I stayed at an upscale hotel in Dusseldorf where the entrance to the bedroom is through the bathroom. You're welcomed by your own reflection in the vanity mirror even before you get into the bedroom. Now, this reminds me of my college days where every one of us wanted to design something which the world has never seen, even though it never worked. Now, a bonus tip for anybody who ever happens to stay at this hotel: avoid inviting guests after using the toilet in the morning, or at least get the housekeeping to clean it. Another awkward incident I remember a couple of years ago, me and a few of my colleagues stayed at an upscale hotel in central London. While having breakfast next morning, at least 3 of them mentioned how creepy they felt by looking at a lady's portrait in the room who was staring straight at them. It was a black and white portrait, it was very scary. And a lady in our group went to the extent of putting a towel on the portrait to be able to sleep. I was brave, however, I told her, and didn't use the towel, just kept the lights on the whole night. Now, most of us have experienced the discomfort of sitting on a gorgeous but low back bar stool, getting out of the bathtub to reach for the towels, and constantly hearing waiters murmur while at a romantic dinner. Now, all easy fixes, aren't these? And the best part is that a user-friendly design costs the same amount of money as a design which is not. Number 2, disinnovation in planning. Whilst the disinnovation in design hurts the guests, this one hurts the investors. The most important thing on which the ROI of a hotel depends on is the development cost. The hotel development's rule is pretty simple. The more you build, the more someone pays. However, still, coming across overspecified lobbies, generous corridors, back-of-house and storage areas is not uncommon. Every square foot of extra space costs money, air conditioning, maintenance, future renovation costs, and remains a lifelong liability, making the return on investment less lucrative and break even longer. Now, a hotel should be designed inside out instead of the other way around in order to do full justice to its investors and users. Now, just to give you a perspective, imagine a 250-key luxury hotel with an average investment of $500,000 a key. Now, a 10% additional area allocated during the design or the program stage will surely hurt. It is $12.5 million for the entire investment. If there's an investor putting up 10 different hotels over a course of a few years, it's a meaty $125 million for the entire endeavor. You could build another luxury hotel with that kind of money. And high development cost is one of the prime reasons you'll hear a lot of investors complain that my hotel is not generating the desired IRR. Number 3, disinnovation in service. Now, this disinnovation I earlier explained to you by giving the popcorn example. Innovation for the sake of being innovative is counterproductive. There's more to a hotel than just photogenic interiors and extravagant FF&E. One simple trick, however, which can prevent innovation turning into disinnovation is by paying attention to detail and with a little empathy. That is, thinking from the perspective of the user. Now, dictionary meaning of attention to detail is the focus that is directed on a smaller task or concern, which together constitutes a larger task or concern. Translated into luxury hospitality design, this means that focusing on a door's knob to lighting levels in the room to chair's back slope, which together constitutes the entire room. And a similar parallel can be drawn to a restaurant or the bar, which together constitutes the entire hotel. And paying attention to detail is not just limited to the brick and mortar assets. This ideology also trickles down to the day-to-day operations of the hotel and service. And contrary to popular belief, paying attention to detail is not just about looking at drawings or presentations for hours. It simply means to train our eyes to see things which as hoteliers we must. And if we won't, our guests will. And when they do, they won't tell us, they'll go and tell the whole world through social media. Let's all endeavor to focus on innovation instead of disinnovation in order to create ergonomically and financially better hotels in future. Thank you very much. Thank you.